Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about what I believe is the most boring zodiac sign. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is I'm going to start out with Aries. Well, Aries, I'd be hard pressed to see them as the most boring zodiac sign. Aries could be very adventurous, pioneering. They are often very action oriented. They're about a lot of activity, so they really can be very averse to stagnation. And they are a sign that wants to very energetic, likes to do. Wants to always be busy. It seems like they seem to be in perpetual motion as far as their activities go, and they so it'd be hard to see Aries as the most boring zodiac sign. Now, when we get to Taurus, well, Taurus certainly could be a viable candidate. Taurus could be seen as rather monotonous. Sometimes they're very stagnant and sedentary. They're very set in what they want to do. It was interesting. I was watching a Forensic Files episode one time, and someone with the last name, I believe, was DeParvine. He was involved in some criminal case, and somebody on the show was saying, well, he lived basically a monotonous existence or something to that effect. And interestingly enough, he has the Parvine had a sun in Taurus, so their Taurus is just really not about deviating from their general routine. They like to do the same things very consistently. I have Taurus rising, so I understand a lot about this energy and resonate with it very strongly, despite having a Gemini moon. So Taurus can be seen as rather boring, and they are. They definitely are a candidate. I'll reveal at the end of the video whether I think it's Taurus or not. But anyway, going to Gemini. Well, Gemini really be hard to see them as the most boring zodiac sign. They're a sign that really is about a lot of change, a lot of vacillation. They like their variety and versatility. They often can entertain people for hours because they are very interesting people and often multifaceted and multi-talented. So for Gemini to be seen as the most boring zodiac sign, it would be really difficult to see them as that. They are Gemini certainly disdains monotony. They really like to do different things at different times. I mean, you can change things up day to day what they want to do. They are about their variety and versatility. They have often many different interests and can be proficient at many different things. So Gemini, would be hard to see them as the most boring zodiac sign. Now going to Cancer. Well, Cancer, they're changeable in their own way, like Gemini, but it's more on, emotional level. It's about how they feel about things. Cancer can often be set in what they want to do, and they're similar to Taurus, where there can be averse to change to some degree, because Cancer likes things to do things that are close to home with them, that are comfortable with them. I mean, I have a Cancer sun, so I can relate and understand this to some degree. But Cancer at the same time can have, they have really can have certain creativity. I think they are a sign that really they want to. I mean, they can love so unequivocally. They will do things for their family members, activities that can be rather actually very enjoyable, and they are a sign. I mean, that they can have some good imagination. And to me, Cancer, it would not, I mean, they could qualify as the most boring zodiac sign, but it's hard for me to say that they actually are. They might be close, but I'll tell you at the end of the video whether I think it is Cancer. And I mean, Cancer can actually be sometimes rather animated. I mean, it's a very emotional sign, and they are ones that they're often about doing playing family games and keeping their family members entertained. So it's hard to really say whether it's Cancer or not, but I'll tell you at the end of the video whether I think it's somewhere. Now Leo. Well, Leo, would be hard for me to say that they're the most boring zodiac sign. Leo, again, I mean, it's very generous, very magnanimous. They are a sign that's strongly associated with creativity. They are also about entertainment. They'll often entertain. They often can make the quintessential host or hostess because of their entertaining ability, and they often can be the life at a party. They're very extroverted, and they also have a lot of charisma and magnetism. They could stand out, and they could do things that will keep keep people interested for some time. They could draw people to them like a magnet. It's really hard to say that Leo would be the most boring zodiac sign. So I would say, I mean, I don't really believe that it would be Leo. So anyway. Well, as far as Virgo goes, well, Virgo certainly could be a viable candidate for the most boring zodiac sign, Virgo. They are, I mean, being an earth sign, they can be somewhat about their routine. I mean, Virgo can be very industrious, have a very good work ethic. They're very service oriented. I'm not saying Virgo is all bad or anything, but they have, you're really, it's hard for them to be that life of the party. There's kind of the opposite of Leo as far as that goes. But Virgo can also be about intellectual gymnastics and keep people interested by whether it's through trivia or through talking about different subjects of an intellectual nature, get people to really think and analyze things very strongly, and they can inspire others to do that. So I don't think Virgo can qualify, but I'll tell you at the end of the video whether I think it's them or not. Now, Libra. Well, Libra is a sign. I mean, it's hard for me to say that they would be the most boring zodiac sign. Libra is often about ingratiating themselves with others. They're very sociable. They love to bounce their ideas off other people. They're very relationship oriented and can often collaborate with others on new ideas and projects and concepts or what have you because of that ability, that affinity to bounce ideas off other people. So it's hard for me to say that Libra would be the most boring sign. They could often make very good hosts and hostess at parties because of their charming nature and their ability to socialize and intellectual sociability. So anyway, we're going to Scorpio. Well, Scorpio would be hard pressed for me to say that they're the most boring zodiac sign. Scorpio, of course, could be very mysterious, very complex. They are, I mean, they're very hard to figure out because Scorpio, again, I mean, Scorpios have stated, I believe in some previous videos, that they have their calm, placid front, but they could have very intense emotional nature. They're like the planet Pluto, which rules them. Pluto, again, or at least I believe this because Pluto again could have that strong, that icy surface or what have you, but what I believe very likely beneath that surface is raging waters in Pluto, and Scorpio can have a lot of turbulent energy beneath the surface. And Scorpio is, again, they're very complex, and they're also, what's interesting about them, they are very mysterious, but they often will be very probing in matters with others, and they have very good problem solving ability. They are really the consummate or ultimate detective. They can be ones that will help you figure out problems when others have difficulty in doing so. They could be very good at like those games like Clue or anything that requires super sleuthing, finding missing items, going around with a metal detector. So they're to me they're not the it'd be hard for me to see them as the most boring zodiac sign, but anyway. Going to Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius is very jocular, very jovial. They're very adventurous and they're very much about long distance traveling. It's hard for me to really see Sag as being the most boring zodiac sign. Their expansive nature enables them often to try many new things, go on different adventures, escapades. They often like to learn many different, continually throughout life. They can often be not just the incorrigible optimist, but the perpetual learner as well. So it's really, for me, it's very hard to see where Sagittarius would be the most boring zodiac sign. They're often about exploration and adventure. They're often people that will go on expeditions and go into uncharted territories. So that they haven't explored before, because they seem to want to expand all the time. So anyway, we're going to Capricorn. Well, Capricorn can certainly qualify because Capricorn is so business-minded, so serious. They have very stern, serious disposition. They often are very hard to laugh. They are ones that are similar to Taurus about as far as deviating from their routine, but because they're so consistent. But with Capricorn, though, they do often have Gemini on the sixth house cusp in the solar or natal chart, so they could bring a little bit of variety, incorporate variety into their daily routines and versatility. So I mean, they could be close. They might be, they still may be the most boring zodiac sign in my opinion, but I'll tell you at the end of the video whether I think it is them or not. But anyway, well, going to Aquarius, well, Aquarius would be hard pressed for me to see them as the most boring zodiac sign, because Aquarius can often be nonconformist. They can often be very rebellious. They like to do their own thing, their own time. They're ones that have a hard time conforming to some kind of like a regimented schedule. They're the ones that can be riding around on a unicycle with a board on their head, and they might say that perfectly normal. And I had a friend I've stated this in previous videos. Their unpredictability keeps people on their toes. I can remember I was in the front passenger seat with an Aquarius rising friend, and he was driving, and instead of taking the conventional route into the shopping center, he just abruptly drove up the grass hill. And that could epitomize Aquarius nature, because they're just such nonconformists. They don't want to really do what everybody else wants to do, so to speak, and they have their own sense of what is orthodox or conventional. So it's hard for me to see. And you look at Aquarius too. I mean, being so innovative and ingenious. Anybody that's seen MacGyver, Richard Dean Anderson is Aquarius' son in real life, and you saw all those improvised weapons and things he created to extricate himself from certain situations, and it's almost like that Aquarius energy was being projected in that show. So I don't think it's Aquarius. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Going to Pisces. Well, Pisces can very well be the amalgamation. I mean, Pisces I see is the amalgamation of the 11 previous zodiac signs. Some will concur. But the thing about Pisces, they're like Gemini. They're so multifaceted. Pisces is like so multi-talented. They can do so many different things because, again, I do believe they're comprised of the 11 previous zodiac signs, and they are they're very nondescript and difficult to really understand and figure out. Because of this, it's hard for me to see how a sign like that could be the most boring zodiac sign. They could be very cryptic, and they're very difficult to really gauge. It could be very nebulous, very unclear. And they also have very good and often intuitive ability. Pisces can often be very mediumistic and forecast things that others might have difficulty in doing so. They could come to certain conclusions, like say that Virgo could, but they do so with less analysis, and they get because of that intuitive prowess. So it's really hard for me to see where Pisces can be the most boring zodiac sign. So anyway, I'm going to tell you who I think is the most boring zodiac sign, and it's no offense to these people, but I'd say if I had to pick one, I would say Taurus. Now, Taurus, don't get me wrong, they have kind of that robust sense of humor. They actually are often very good temperament, good disposition, but because Taurus can just simply be so monotonous and they're so set in their ways. Keep in mind that Taurus is fixed and an earth sign, which makes it very difficult for them to deviate. Taurus is set well in the earth. They are very grounded, and they often give stability to others in their relationships, which is very good. But Taurus will not, they are so averse to change, and they often like just doing the same thing, same time, same actions every day. I have Taurus rising. I can resonate with this. I definitely can see why others might see me as at least somewhat boring, because I don't really deviate from what I generally do. I'm very robotic in everything, well, virtually everything I do. And the thing about it is that Taurus also is very hard to excite. They're not very animated or vivacious. They just very stolid, and there's a very just serious attitude with Taurus people. They just look very placid a lot, and it's hard for them to express the exuberance or enthusiasm in what they are, in whatever it is they are doing. And we're keep in mind that Aries often falls on the 12th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Taurus, so they're averse to being action oriented. They often are the ones that could be very sedentary and will be very quiet, say it like at a party or something, because that just is how Taurus people can be. They're very impassive, and they're very slow to show any kind of emotion or any animation. That's just how Taurus people often are, and I think at least, I can show that, at least being Taurus, being my ascendant superficially, that's a lot of that energy I do project very outwardly. So, but at the same time, don't get me wrong, a lot of these things I described about Taurus can be very positive because they're very stable, reliable. You can count on Taurus for many things. They do come through often on what they say they're going to do, perhaps more than any other zodiac sign. They could be the most loyal, the most steadfast of the zodiac signs, and at least with them, you don't have to worry about any extreme mood swings, and they will stand by you often through trials and tribulations. So anyway, people, well, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for what I think is the most boring zodiac sign. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.